What is going on in the Czech Republic? Can somebody explain to me, please? What is going on here? Vaush in a Czech travel insurance ad. What are we doing? What am I doing? Did I get drunk? It's real, by the way. Okay. Am I like talking up the Czech Republic here? Let me find again 1 second. Hold on. I think we got it. Can somebody please tell me what this says? Can somebody please tell what is like a Czech meme? Can somebody please tell me? When my friend asks before entering plane whether I have something with travel, like if I have my passport or like do I have my, it's like a general me. It's not even a me specific meme. Travel insurance setup. Me when my friend POV your friend asks if you've booked your travel insurance before getting on the flight, something like that. If I have a ready ticket. 50% chance that it will turn out well, 100% chance that you will get your travel voucher from Cooperativa before you board the plane. Hashtag Cooperativa. Fuck yeah, dude. That's great, man. I love multiculturalism. I feel like that you know that Simpsons episode where Homer finds out that he's like Mr. Sparkle? Here's another one. There's multiple? What the hell? All right, well, we breached containment. It hasn't happened in a while. It's remember when the Chad Jack of me went viral out of context? It's been a while since that one circulated, but it reminds me of that. Kharkiv Kid Finder. Man, that's funny as hell. You getting royalties? You know, now you know what the recognition is enough. The recognition is enough. That's funny as hell. Yeah, can I get like a Czech travel insurance sponsorship? There's a lot of beautiful architecture in the Czech Republic, you know. Hello, come here to Czech Republic. I'm like Borat visiting the Czech Republic. Hello, I am Vaush. I am here in Czech Republic. Beautiful concrete. I don't know. Instantly turns Russian. That's not fucking Russian. That's racist ass Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen. It's not bigotry if I'm doing it. Glad they got me in my Capitol jacket. Love that gigantic sailor lapel. Hell yeah, brother. That's funny. Not lapel, collar. Though it's so big, it kind of overlaps. Okay. Have you seen the if you're white, you have to send money to black people on Juneteenth discourse? Yes, in the form of one black sex worker saying, gimme money, which seems reasonable to me. I don't have an issue with it. What is the... It seems fine. It's Juneteenth. Can we let them have fun? Okay. It's not even Juneteenth anymore, you know? Discourse, look inside one guy's Twitter. Oh, you know some real discourse? That fucking butch trans woman... femme trans guy discourse. Oh man, it's the same thing over and over again, but I never get tired of it because it's so fucking funny, man. It's so goddamn funny. What? There's it's a pattern. It's a recurring pattern. The art was cute. Well, it depends on the art. I think the original art was not cute at all. There is a tendency there. There is a tendency there, you know? Yes, there is. The lion discourse? Yeah, this one. Where it's like... I feel like there are a lot of trans guys out there who identify as men who really don't mind coming across looking like women, and that's fine. But I feel like they incorrectly assume that must mean there are a decent number of trans women who don't mind coming across looking like men, and that's just not true. It's not a parallel thing. Yeah, this was the original art. That's not... How many views? 2.5 million views. Oh, that's crazy. Asshole image to BH? Well, they're trying. But, like, I don't know. though I think there's a decent message there. Okay, there's like a decent underlying message, but the way this always plays out is a trans guy is like, we support gender nonconforming trans people, and then they draw a busted ass troon jack trans woman, and then trans women are like, can you please stop drawing us as busted ass troon jacks? And then the trans guys are like, it's literally smashing the patriarchy to depict you this way, and it keeps happening over and over again, thus proving the trans men are men by talking over the women. So, you know, it's I would say it's validating in all directions. I don't know. It's okay. It's all right. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. Not even top 1,000 problems right now, like in the world. Not even like top 10,000. Maybe top 100,000. Funny thing is, man, if you've paid any attention to the Zionist project for any length of time, you realize they've literally fucking always been like this, man. Israeli reporter Ari Shavit writes of Israel's nuclear strategy. Concerning anything and everything nuclear, Israel would be much more cautious than the United States and NATO. Concerning anything and everything nuclear, Israel would be the responsible adult of the international community. It would well understand the formidable nature of the demon and keep it locked in the basement. In 2002, the Los Angeles Times, presumably as a bit, published an opinion piece by Louisiana State University professor David D. Perlmutter, who stated, Israel has been building nuclear weapons for 30 years. The Jews understand what passive and powerless acceptance of doom has meant for them in the past, and they have insured against it. Masada was not an example to follow. It hurt the Romans not a whit. But Samson in Gaza? What would serve the Jew-hating world better in repayment for thousands of years of massacres but a nuclear winter? Or invite all those tut-tutting European statesmen and peace activists to join us in the ovens. For the first time in history, a people facing extermination, while the world either cackles or looks away, unlike the Armenians, Tibetans, World War II European Jews, or Rwandans, have the power to destroy the world. The ultimate justice? Really fascinating stuff there. Read the next quote in the wiki, it's insane. Okay. Here, this one. In his 2012 book, How the World Ends, The Road to a Nuclear World War III, the American Jewish author Ron Rosenbaum described this opinion piece as, quote, goes so far as to justify a Samson option approach. In that book, Rosenbaum also opined that in the aftermath of a second Holocaust, Israel could bring down the pillars of the world, attack Moscow and European capitals, for instance, as well as the holy place of Islam, and that the abandonment of proportionality is the essence of the Samson option. Yes. Or did you mean this one? No, I meant this one. A military historian, Martin van Creveld, thought the Second Intifada then in progress threatened Israel's existence. Yeah, sure. He was quoted in David Hurst's The Gun and Olive Branch as saying, we possess several hundred atomic warheads and rockets and can launch them at targets in all directions, perhaps even at Rome. Most European capitals are targets for our Air Force. Let me quote General Moshe Dayan. Israel must be like a mad dog, too dangerous to bother. I consider it all hopeless at this point. We shall have to try to prevent things from coming to that if at all possible. Our armed forces, however, are not the 30th strongest in the world, but rather the second or third. We have the capability to take the world down with us, and I can assure you that will happen before Israel goes under. Click the link to that general. Can we... Yes. Israeli military leader and politician, is commander of the Jerusalem Front in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, chief of the general staff of the IDF during the Sinai War, and defense minister during the Six-Day War. He became a worldwide fighting symbol of the new state of Israel. Just again, keep in mind that when you see these insane genocidal, like, oh, we should just nuke the world, isn't that fair payback for the Holocaust? They're coming not from like randos, but from very, very powerful and influential people who look like Bond villains, yes. If you... Like, again, nothing that is happening in Israel right now is new. They have always been like this. It is just a consequence of us failing to address them. We've been kicking the can down the road for fucking decades. Look up USS Liberty. I'm going to be real, okay? The USS Liberty thing pisses me off because it's literally like the 5 millionth most evil thing Israel's done. Like, I'm not interested in the USS Liberty. Oh, they hit a ship of ours? That's great. Like, here's their politicians and military leaders threatening to end the world over and over. You know, like the people, I don't know. The Liberty thing is just not that interesting to me. Ugly motherfucker. Van Creveld is the author of 33 books in military history. And I guess he's, you know, fond of the idea of ending the world. He's called women the privileged sex and argued the systematic oppression of women as claimed by feminists is a myth unsupported by any serious data. That's great, man. Taking a look at my Israeli military historian, a fat chud who thinks women have it easy. Yeah, just why do men who say stuff like that look like that? In fairness, if I looked like this, I might also think that pretty ladies had all the social privilege in the world. You know? Imagine the chip on this guy's shoulder. Like this one, if you kick out Latinos who will clean toilets. The fucked up thing is that this is way the fuck more defensible. When Kelly Osbourne said if you kick out Latinos who will clean toilets, it's pretty obvious what point she was making. The point she was making is that Latinos in America occupy like a class under hierarchy, and that they do valuable work, and that you depend on them, and that if you kick them out, they will not be doing that work. I don't think she was endorsing the idea that Latinos' like place is cleaning toilets. Now, obviously it came across badly, but that was the sentiment here. Whereas like Crockett's point was just unambiguous, like race war shit. It is time for the immigrants to work the fields because we done with that. Like that's not a unifying state. There's no good point in there. That's literally just like racial grievance bullshit. But yeah, I'm a Kelly Osbourne defender on this one. I'm sorry to say, even though it was, you know, not an ideal way of, yeah, you get me. In German schools, teachers are now bonded by law to call the police on students who call the war in Gaza genocide. Could you provide a link to that? Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, got in a shouting match. Sure.
You caved to the pressure. You caved to the Secretary General's obsession with targeting Israel.
I'm sorry, but I have to make a point. I have to make a point of
order.
No,
you will be quiet
because this is what the chair should be doing.
You spoke,
I make
now
a point of order. They should not be personal. It should not be personal.
You part of the bullying
I have a point of order.
Shame on you.
I have a point of order.
You spoke.
I don't want to listen to this. After she interrupted his remarks at Friday's meeting regarding allegations that Israeli soldiers and settlers committed sexual violence against Palestinians. Sure, okay, why not? Who cares? Every Israeli government official is aware of the fact that they use rape dogs. They all love it. They're all in favor of it. Do not fall for the clean Wehrmacht bullshit, because that was a lie with Nazi Germany too, where you act like... By the way, it's worth pointing out, and this sounds like a crazy statement, but it's just objectively true. Modern day, like now, Israelis know more about their government's war crimes than the Wehrmacht on average did back then. Just because the freedom of information is so much greater now than it was back then. The average Wehrmacht soldier knew that they were committing a genocide, knew they were rounding up and killing people, but didn't really understand the scope of it. Probably not the average soldier. Not a defense of them. They knew what they were doing, you know? Wehrmacht soldier, this is the Soviet Union, motherfucker. You're going to die out here. This is Stalingrad. But the average IDF soldier, the average, you know, UN ambassador, everyone, they're all perfectly aware of what's happening. They all joke about it in their fucking Telegram chats. Jesus. Okay. We've covered a lot of that stuff. Oh, how about Italy, huh? How about Italy? We haven't fucking covered Italy, have we? We haven't covered Trump starting an international incident for literally no fucking...
Are way worse than people.
Why autoplay the video? I gotta fix whatever hotkey is doing that. What about that one? We haven't talked about that. International incident for no fucking reason, just because Trump is really weird about women.
Dimostra molto più accondiscendente, però una cosa se la deve ricordare. Io e l'Italia non imploriamo mai.
Basically what happened was Trump at the G7 meeting said that like Meloni begged him for a photo op or something like that. Begged him to like take a photo. Here, The Hill, take it away.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is accusing President Trump of making up a story about her after the president told an Italian TV station that Meloni wanted a picture with him at the G7 summit. The president was quoted as saying Meloni wanted a picture with me so badly. I wouldn't have taken it, but I felt sorry for her. Meloni responded back on social media saying...
This was like totally unprompted, by the way. Like, Meloni is a fascist heir to Mussolini, largely far right, not beefing with Trump, just randomly just decided to start beef for some fucking reason, like a fucking YouTuber. true, like baffling, just baffling, you know?
Donald Trump's statements are completely made up. I am frankly astonished. I don't know why the President of the United States behaves like this towards his allies. There is one thing he should remember: neither I nor Italy ever beg. Here with the latest details is The Hill's Deputy Managing Editor, Sarakshi Rai. Sarakshi, thanks so much for joining us. This spat...
They canceled a diplomatic visit to the United States over this.
President Trump has stirred up a diplomatic spat today after testing the patience of a key U.S. ally, not Israel. In this case, it's Italy's top diplomat there abruptly canceling a planned trip to the U.S. set for this weekend after a back and forth between Mr. Trump and the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. Now, the two were together at the G7 summit in France this week, where the president claimed in an interview with Italian TV that Meloni, quote, begged him for a photo, and that he felt
here's
sorry
Trump
for
at the
her.
meeting.
Meloni responded in a video on X, calling his account totally fabricated and saying Italy and I never beg. She goes on to say, I don't know why the President of the United States behaves this way with his own allies. It's not, after all, the first time this has happened. And I can only say it's a shame he doesn't show the same determination with the enemies of the West, with the enemies of the United States. Well, she's right. It's hardly the first time the president has belittled, dismissed, or targeted America's closest friends. Also at the G7, he called Mexico's president a sacred woman, make that a scared woman. He said the French president's wife treats him badly earlier.
I mean, typically he does this to people who aren't as like politically aligned with him as Meloni, but I don't know. To me, it just reads that Trump is stressed out and he's lashing out at people. Really, I just think it's that. I don't think this has anything to do with any specific policy or any specific belief or whatever else. I think it's literally just like he's upset because he knows everything's falling apart right now, so he just decided to start beef for no reason whatsoever. It's just the same reason what he's attacking everyone always. He doesn't normally attack Meloni. Meloni's a fascist. The walls are closing in, kitten. Yep, they don't know. Do they even know? Well, if the AMOC collapses due to climate change, European temperatures will be 5 degrees Celsius on average, so all be fine. That is true. It is worth remembering. It is worth remembering that if the AMOC collapses, you guys will all be on the other side of the... Yeah. People forget, man. People forget. Look at this shit, dog. People forget that if you take a look at the actual fucking how northern Europe is, it's like, where's Paris? Oh, Paris is like in fucking Montreal or whatever. You know? Look at this, dog. It's like Estonia? Yeah. Estonia. Estonia is like, Jesus Christ, like the Northwest Territories. Estonia? Oh, yeah, you mean like Fort Smith. Doesn't the Gulf Stream warm up Europe? Yeah. What was AMOC? If AMOC collapses, it would mean the end of the Gulf Stream warming Europe, overlaying European cities under North America. Yeah, you guys don't understand how fucking cold it gets in America. But like in the American Midwest, like remember the ice siege in Minneapolis? It's like you need to wear 3 coats, 2 scarves, gigantic mittens. Like you need to go out like preparing for Arctic cold. And Berlin is north of that. Oh, London? Yeah, London, where it gets like negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit every winter. Yeah. You're all gonna die. The Pacific Northwest is pretty similar to Western Europe. Yeah. But if AMOC collapses, it's going to be more like Midwestern cold across Europe. I really do not think that the people in like London are ready for negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit winters. I just don't think you are. I don't think you are. America has much worse temperature extremes than Europe does. Really, it is insane how blessed Western Europe and the western coast of America are. Like, all weather, it feels like the entire world was designed to make those spots on Earth the most gorgeous, habitable places. The Pacific Northwest and, like, this chunk of Europe right here are like, just fucking unbelievably accommodating to human life. Or at least they were. I found out last week that America almost alone gets lightning, like Europe doesn't get lightning. Yeah, it's something about, yeah, I don't know, man. We also get all the tornadoes. Yeah, Europe just doesn't get lightning. Isn't that weird? Nah. Look at the map. Well, you can't because you're, like, over there. Also, it's not your stream. Also, like and subscribe. Also, donate. My own partner's not even a tier 4 sub. Yes, we do. We get lightning. Consult the map. Consult the map. When Europeans are like, we get cold winters. Nah. We get hot summers. Nah. We get lightning. Nah. What are you going to do? Argue with us in tornadoes? Oh, but in 1907, there was a tornado in Brussels. There was once a distinct circular whirl of wind in Brussels. It was documented by a rotary camera. We get tornadoes. What are you talking about, Americanoid? We get winter. I've seen snow before. Fuck you. You hear tornado alleys moving east into more populous areas of the South? God bless. The first time a super tornado takes out an evangelical megachurch, I will convert. The Brussels tornado killed 983 people. How could you say that? It's because everyone was just staring at it dumbfounded, you know? It's just the old grainy video camera footage of like a crowd of thousands just watching up like turkeys as the tornado lifts them all away and like a... Ooh! Wait, is this me? Hold on. Fucking stupid. Look at this. I just don't understand why these fetishized men have whole beards before they transition expect us to believe that it's not just a creepy sexual fetish. Closing in on 3 years of transition. Time really flies. That's funny. How many likes? 9,000 okay. Whatever. At least she chose a good picture of me. So proud of her. Yeah. She looks so much nice. What is it? World's unhappiest man, world's most beautiful woman. Yeah, you get it. Both pictures of you look good. Yeah. It's literally @transgirl. Yeah, she snagged a crazy name there. @transgirl. Is the quote a joke? Nah, just a transphobe. Have you ever questioned your gender identity? No. Sorry, I know it's like really disappointing for a lot of people who watch me, but I'm afraid there's just not going on. There's nothing much going on that front. I'm really sorry. You got a beard compliment out of it at least? Oh, a lot of people in there are like, you look great as a boy and a girl. And I'm like, yes. I'll take my unintentional compliments, thank you. In 2003, George W. Bush hosted a reunion party for his Yale classmates at the White House. One of his fellow alumni had since become a woman and wasn't sure how to introduce herself. Nervously, she said, "You might remember me as Peter." Bush jumped in, "And now you've come back as yourself." God, that's funny. It's like that Andrew Tate quote, "Racism is for poor people." Very wealthy people are usually surprisingly progressive in their inner circles because they recognize that bigotry is a tool to be weaponized, like between members of the lower classes, like in, you know, to a large extent, like no one's being unironically fucking homophobic at the deep state parties. No one gives a shit that Peter Thiel is gay. Very much the thing with Putin, weirdly enough. Is that true? Is Putin like that as well? It totally makes sense to me. Again, like these people are, this is a very common, like, even with regular day-to-day Republicans, right? They will be very racist politically, but then they'll have a Latin or black neighbor who they're like totally fine with. Bigotry is so abstract. I hate this tweet because Trump's the same. Yeah, Trump is 100% the same. Trump actually is racist and sexist. I don't think he's homophobic or transphobic. Well, he is, but that bigotry, I don't think it manifests as directly in his day-to-day life. Not that he'd be like, you know, super racist against a person at a party or whatever, but, you know. Same with Epstein. Putin was assigned to Eastern Germany during KGB times. You know he was giving head in a nightclub. Oh, for sure. Yeah. David, if you have something to show me, link it. Wait, now I like Putin, what the fuck? There you go. That's the point of this whole segment. U.S. considered acquiring Greenland so that they could get unlimited shrimp back at Red Lobster. That's not a joke. Tom Dans was appointed by Trump as the chair of the U.S. Arctic Research Commission in December. When I met him for lunch in Washington earlier this year, he declined to speak further on the record, except to articulate a narrow, symbiotic vision for the future. Quote, "My view is the United States could take all the seafood Greenland could produce and cut out the middleman and keep it from China, and you could bring back all-you-can-eat shrimp at Red Lobster." Great. Explaining colonialism to an American? Great. Based, actually? Yeah. Finally, a plan. Taylor Lorenz crashout. Oh, God. I see things are going well for Taylor Lorenz over on Instagram, accusing a disabled Palestinian activist of happily infecting killing Palestinians and making it... Future of Palestine is disabled from Masoon Zaid, actor, comedian on Sumu Pod. Okay. So where are our masks to stop the spread of airborne disease? Man, I feel really bad about this because Taylor Lorenz does do good work, but this is legitimately like a mental illness. COVID broke a lot of people's brains, and this is just an example of that happening. It's genuinely like a compromised mental state. It's like a trauma thing. And also maybe on insisting that school children should have phones in school. We're talking about children who've lost limbs. Where the hell do you think we're going to find masks in Gaza like I do you? These people are not filming their content in Gaza. They're not in a war zone. People in a war zone don't have access to PPE, which is why it's incumbent on privileged podcasters to stop the spread of airborne disease. Ugh. The current variant hitting Gaza first, spread in the U.S. Mask up, stop infecting or harming others by spreading airborne diseases. I don't understand, like, is the expectation that all humans should wear masks in public for all time? Because that's just not happening. That's just not only is that an insane expectation, like, in the sense that, like, I think it would be bad socially, but also that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, like, why make that the issue to die on forever? Also, natural immunity is good. Yeah, it does. Like, unironically, it is probably worse for humans' health in the long run if we all live in the bubble pod or whatever, and we spray ourselves with hand sanitizer every 8 seconds. You know, it probably does, like, it would compromise our ability to build resilience and natural immunity to infection. You should wear them, like, if you're actively sick. The amount of go fuck yourself. Oh, this is the lady. Go fuck yourself. I can send you from the middle of Palestine right now because that's where I am. You're talking to a Palestinian in Palestine about masks when I'm talking about amputation, spinal cord injury, blindness, TB. I go somewhere else for attention, darling, not here. And then Taylor Lorenz says to the Palestinian activist, oh, so you're privileged in going around podcasts and gallivanting while talking about disability while actively infecting and harming other disabled people in Palestine who do not have access to medical treatment. That's disgusting. And also, this is what I mean by mental illness. Like, anyone whose brain was working properly would not, in fact, get into an Instagram argument calling a Palestinian privileged and harming other Palestinians for not wearing a mask. Like, this is not... She just wants attention. This is not a calculated effort to get attention. It's genuinely like a trauma response. Like, it's I don't think Taylor Lorenz is holistically stupid, but this specifically is like there's a short circuit going on up here. It's not a cynical, yeah, it's just, yeah. And also shows exactly why no one should listen to you talk about disability. Oof. The thousands of Palestinians dying and suffering from deadly diseases because of lack of access to medical treatment aren't actually disabled to you. Neither are the countless Palestinians whose immune system's organs. Oh, man. Oh, and of course you're visiting from New Jersey, posting about how you'll miss your local Pilates classes. I guess being disabled to you means you can't do Pilates. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I don't know how she still has a career. Like, she genuinely, everything goes out the window when it comes to COVID. Like, she actually loses her fucking mind. She steps on this rake like once a month. Because that lady's a shitlib who has zero solidarity with disabled Palestinians, continues to push pro-Israel disease denialism. This is like such a round peg square hole situation. Actually, the Palestinian activist who's going on podcast to describe like the situation in Gaza is pro-Israel because she adopts the Israeli position of not wearing masks in interviews. Okay. Damn, man. COVID is spiritually Israeli? I mean, maybe, but like... You know, I have family members long COVID, even they disagree with this shit. Well, you have to disagree with this because it's literally mental illness. There's not like a rational position being held here. The idea that a Palestinian activist is a Zionist and is anti-disabled people because she did not wear a mask to an interview in New Jersey with 2 people who aren't even sick is just it's just not a position born of a like real engagement with reality. I'm just surprised there's nobody in her personal life who's like, I don't know, gotten this out of her, like I don't know, is are the people in her life like enabling her, or is she so stubborn that she would fight against this like day in day out, everyone everywhere? I don't know. It's pretty crazy though. Thank God Elon made it so you could view the accounts of people who have blocked you. Her view is everyone should stay inside always and do everything over computers. It's literally the end state of tech optimist ideology. Maybe that's why she wants like all students to have phones in school or whatever. I'm a bit behind, but Taylor's immunocompromised. She takes that personally. Yeah, but her positions are still just insane. Like, I understand she's immunocompromised, but that doesn't, like, make... That all that does is explain why she's insane about it, or like partly explain, because there are lots of immunocompromised people who are not insane about it, but it doesn't make her positions not insane. It's probably not good. Please move on. This is not worth our time. Don't tell me what to do with my fucking platform. Please move on. When people say please move on, what they mean is please stop beating on my goat. I feel like I'm being relatively sympathetic considering how much of an asshole Taylor Lorenz is every time this comes up. Lots of retweets. Yeah, I think she's locked her. Oh my god, she's really posting 24 minutes ago and we're this far from the top of the page. God damn. If I was having a crash out, I would also retweet like everything to bury the feed. Yeah, I was hoping to look at comments, but it looks like she locked everything. Yeah, it's all buried. Sorry. Not much to go over here. Anyway, yeah, not great, I guess. Probably not good. Pipe shit? Yeah. It's too bad because she does good work otherwise. A lot of good pro-free speech stuff. What are your thoughts on revisiting educational content like Rhetoric 101, Politics 101 with topics like media literacy, critical thought? I don't know. I feel like that's very old YouTube. It just comes across more video essay, in my opinion. Also, I feel like over time, my thinking has shifted a little bit, and I feel like people don't actually learn as much from those. People don't learn as much about my thought process from those as I would like them to. They consume it too much like edutainment. It feels like they're listening. I don't know. I feel like it falls afoul of the edutainment blend that I prefer, but I'd have to think about it. Got only 2 hours of sleep, but I'm down 2 more pounds. I had a heroic diet moment yesterday where my friends were over and one of them left behind some uneaten ice cream from the ice cream shop that we had gone to earlier, but at the time I heroically refrained from having any ice cream because I'm on a diet, and there was some leftover ice cream and I said no. My partner even treacherously asked me if I wanted to have some of the ice cream, but I said no. I did not have any ice cream. Very strong. Very strong. Yes. You'd salt and straw in Seattle? Yes. If you don't want it, can I have it? No! I'll have it later. I like to work out during the politics section of stream because the news is so anger-inducing. Yeah, I tend to listen to my, like, Zateo or Majority Report segments while I'm exercising. I did... Now, okay. I did get in some good exercise yesterday. I did stairs. How do I describe the exercise? Because you can't really talk about weights. Over the course of 15 minutes, going up and down, I did about, I would say, 25 flights of stairs. Like, up, down, up, down, up, down. In total, I think it was like 25 flights of stairs. I think I kept a pretty good pace, but I was like, I was huffing and puffing, you know? How are the quads feeling? Quads and calves are still sore, I'm happy to report. I won't ski or snowboard with someone who doesn't want to wear a helmet. Oh my god, snowboarding or skiing without a helmet is actually like, okay, this is like a toxic thing for me to say, so don't assume I'm acting as a role model here. But I understand an aversion to wearing a helmet while skateboarding or bicycling because sometimes it doesn't feel necessary and also it's uncool. But it's literally not uncool to wear a helmet while skiing or snowboarding. Like, even in addition to all the safety concerns, like when you're like, a helmet feels like a natural part of those. It's like a big shiny helmet. You're like an armored dude. You know? You should still wear helmets while skateboarding or bicycling. Has anyone watched? I'm very sorry. I'm about to like lose aura in the eyes of people who watch me. Any of 90 Day Fiancé? It's like trash TV. I watch with my friends, etc. They have a crazy fucking crop of characters for the most recent season. They have, among other people, a black Christian evangelical who thinks that she's a prophet, and she is being enabled by the people in her life. She Nigerian? Nah, she's American. But she's trying to, like, marry a Nigerian. Yeah. You watch Love Island? No, I've never watched Love Island. Is she hot? Is that what's getting her enabled? No. She's just in a Christian evangelical household. So they're like, yeah, you know. It's just normal. You should. Reality TV at the platonic ideal. I don't know if there's anything in Love Island for me. I guess I mostly just like making fun of people for being, like, kind of weird or racist or whatever in the 90 Day. like the Americans are usually delusional or chauvinist or whatever, and it's kind of funny. But in Love Island, I don't know. The just petty interpersonal drama isn't as interesting to me. Isn't Love Island just a bunch of hot, horny people? That's my day-to-day life, man. Watching TV to escape that. The drudgery and tedium of my normal day-to-day life. Moving to San Francisco in a few months. I don't have an option. I'm more screwed than Seattle. Listen, I'm not saying rent prices right now are even remotely acceptable, because they're not. What I'm saying is, even in cities like Seattle and San Francisco, if you find a 2-bedroom and you split it with a roommate, you'll be okay. Like, housing is unaffordable, but pretty much everywhere, if you just find a solid roommate and split a 2-bedroom and avoid drama, you can start to build a life. I'm not saying it's easy or fair. I'm just saying that, like, there are, you know, things have not yet gotten so bad that you're just perma-fucked no matter what. I have a wife and kid, Vaush. What roommate? Okay, well, your wife in this case is the roommate. Your wife is the one with whom you can split the rent cost. You have, like, a built-in roommate. Still ass, though. I'm not denying it. Also, with a wife, you can do a 1-bedroom split 2 ways. Not to mention you get, like, tax benefits. Absolutely. Yeah, being married's better than having a roommate when it comes to finance splitting for sure. I had 6 other roommates and it sucked. Okay, yeah, 6 roommates is a lot. That is a large number of roommates, to be sure. Maybe like an unmanageably large number of roommates, I think. Is this an endorsement of the polycule rent-sharing method? No. There is kind of a stereotype in Seattle of, like, trans girls moving across the country to be part of a polycule, so they have, like, no real-life worldly experience, and then they get thrown into an incredibly complicated and often unstable social dynamic, where, like, one person or maybe 2 people are, like, the primary person or primary couple, but everyone else is kind of like, do you get your rent paid that day, or did you not suck enough dick the past month or whatever, you know? It's probably not great. You get me. Yeah, whatever money you save by living with 6 roommates will invariably be lost due to, like, costs incurred by the random bullshit that can happen when you live with 6 roommates. Probably not worth it. Unless you really like all 6 of them. Digital Circus fans looking for more people to yell their dumb opinion on. It is crazy that Digital Circus is adult media. Like, it is written in a way that it is difficult to understand what is happening unless you are coming at it with an adult perspective. Like, you might be able to follow the events on screen if you're 12, but it's very, very clearly demanding of you, like, a certain degree of life experience in order to appreciate and understand where it's coming from. But because the average viewer is 12 years old, you have a bunch of people on Twitter being like, I don't get it. Isn't it bad that Gooseworks is expecting me to sympathize with a bad character? Why would I sympathize with someone if they're a bad person? And it's like, damn, I don't even want to argue with you because you're literally fucking 12 years old, dog. Genuinely, in this respect, I think this is the reason why Fire Punch opened the way it did. It was like the manga equivalent of firing shots out your window to lower the rent. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Fire Punch fans, you know what I'm talking about. They dropped that shit early so Fujimoto wouldn't have to deal with it later. Has-Been Helluva are adult media made for kids and TADC is children's media made for adults. I agree with that, yeah. Which is funny because Has-Been and Helluva Boss definitely have an average viewer age higher than TADC, which is fucked up. Nah, the Patch Fest, you can't be worrying about that. There's just a lot of genuine media illiteracy these days because people treat all the media they consume like moral instruction and they don't engage with anything that's difficult for them. You know? Like, we are dealing with a generation where a lot of people's, like, the highest media experience they've had is shit like One Piece or Steven Universe or something, which is good media, but also, like, both Steven Universe and One Piece can be fully comprehended in action and in themes by a 14 or 15-year-old. Like, when you're older in Steven Universe, you might get a bit more appreciation for it, but fundamentally, you know, you can follow everything that is being conveyed to you at those ages. I don't actually think that's true for the Amazing Digital Circus. I actually don't think that's true. I think that TADC, I have a difficult time imagining somebody that young picking up everything that's been put down.
What do I do? What do I do?
It's all good, don't worry. Part 4567 about why smartphones were a mistake. Not just smartphones, it also has to do with the way media is these days. But yeah, there's an element to that, yeah, for sure. Baki is definitely a good example of act like a chud, think like a woke. I have not been enjoying the post, like the Baki series post the original trilogy all that much. Like, I think they're kind of mid. But the original trilogy is a lot better than people give it credit for. It's like JoJo, where there's a lot of really good stuff there, but it gets overlooked because people are only interested in communicating in the format of, like, memes. Ah, isn't it funny Yujiro Hanma walked through the glass and it broke and he smushed his face against it. Oh, they had an invisible tea party, you know? It's like, there's a purpose to this, man. My first was Elfen Lied. That's fucked up. Elfen Lied is so bad.
Why did they?
Elfen Lied is like peak, I'm 14 and this is deep. I'm made to, like, play, to exploit the vulnerable neural pathways of 14-year-olds who think they're consuming peak media right now. Knick-knack. I think that having a cell phone addiction can give you ADHD. I think that I don't think that ADHD, the neural features that make you ADHD, that represent themselves as ADHD, are not merely a product of genetics, but can be influenced by your environment. And I think that cell phone addiction can do that. Like, you can fry neural pathways in a way that causes people to have symptoms identical to ADHD, which might as well just be having ADHD. I don't think that, like, brain chemistry is determined permanently by your birth. CPTSD has overlapping effects to ADHD. A lot of neuroatypical conditions have overlapping effects because, you know, you're just talking about, like, broad, socially determined deviations from what's considered quote-unquote normal behavior. You know, there's a lot of, like, overlap, for sure. Miss Pixel, we've addressed that before. I don't think it's that, no. Though a drop in general teen pregnancy has definitely accounted for a huge amount of the lowered birth rate.